because I'm thirsty. I'm very thirsty. Come on. Here's our first customer. Taste it. Taste it, Rainbow. Thirsty. Where are you? Where are you? Taste the Rainbow. One more. Chicken Rainbow. Well, hello there, humans, hippies, earthlings, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and if you're lucky enough indeed to be doing it too. I'm Bushka, I'm back from my European sojourn. I went skiing in France, I had Christmas in the UK, and the Swiss shook me down in Geneva, where I got the most expensive pizza the world's ever known. Geez, it costs a lot of money if you're paying with Pacific bananas. Today we're going to be doing a video about the fastest gun in the game, or the fastest time to kill in the game. Now, I don't want to bore the ass off you because, honestly, a lot of this stuff is really dry. So what I'm going to do is show you, that's me on the bottom right testing all this stuff on the range. I then edit it in Final Cut Pro. I cut it down till I can tell you exactly how long it takes each gun to fire X amount of rounds. I get a rate of fire from that. I know the damage numbers already. I extrapolate that, put those two together, and we make beautiful music. Now, if you want that spreadsheet, it's in my Discord server's pinned messages in the general channel. Just go there. We've got over 3,000 people in that server now. Someone will help you out with that, and I update that as info comes to hand. The big and crazy thing that popped in this whole test is that the Mark 14 took the top 2 places in terms of time to kill. That's right, the top 2, because there are actually 2 Mark 14s. There is a Mark 14 that has 10 rounds in the clip. That gun fires a full 10 rounds in 0.52 or 0.53 seconds, depending on your frames per second, which is nuts, right? Which is absolutely freaking nuts. The Mark 14 with a clip in it fires 1.53 seconds. It takes 1.53 seconds to fire 20 rounds. That's nearly triple the time. As a result, the Mark 14 has 2 different rate of fires. I'm not making this up. And I tested the arse off it. But you've got to remember this. So the Mark 14 does 61 base damage to a chest area. It will do 36 base damage to a level 2 vest. That means it needs 3 shells. You need to fire 3 shells into a chest to clear that target. The first shell is 0. That is when you push the trigger. Bang, 0. The second shell is 0.53. The third shell is another 0.53. So that's 0.053. So it's 0.106 seconds to clear a target if you've got balls as big as coconuts and you're willing to run around using your primary weapon with only 10 shells in the clip. Personally, I think that's more theory than anything else, but I run the Mark 14 all the time. I use it as a primary weapon. It's up close and personal, and then I'll switch it out to single shot if I need a DMR. If you're going to be doing it the DMR way, you are going to be having a great old time because it does the highest base damage of any DMR. But if a clip is in it and you do full auto, that will give you a kill time of 1.153 seconds. Now that is first place and second place. That's a great weapon. Now obviously the Grocer is the other one that everyone raves about, and they're right to rave about the Grocer as the fastest time to kill. The Grocer has a wonderful 0.075 rate of fire. And that means that 0.075 seconds per round. So that means doing, because it fires at 47 base damage into a no chest area in target, 28.2 is your base damage into a level 2 vest, which means you've got to hit 4 times. So your 0.075 times 3, because remembering that 0 is your first shell, is 0.225. Now that's number 2. Number 3 is the Mark 47 Mutant. It will get the job done in 0.255 seconds. So that's your top 4, 3, however you want to treat the Mark 14. And then you get in your guns like the Vector and the Uzi. The M16A4 is really dodgy here. And if we ever get the Mark 47 Mutant, which I reviewed as a beta gun back, then things will get even weirder. But the other thing that lots of people don't realize is that every single 5.56 AR from the AUG through to the QBZ fires at exactly the same rate. They are 0.085 seconds per round, and they will take exactly the same damage. So you get no difference. This is why I say the armory is ridiculous, hey? The armory is ridiculous because it just makes things up. Like it says that one's slower than the other. The Scar L does not fire slower than the M416. In terms of real-world application, well, for me, I like the barrel. I really like the barrel. The barrel for me is a lot easier to deal with than the Grocer. The Grocer seems to have some kind of crazy, like, I don't know, just, it's all over the place. You can't really rate anything on it apart from a suppressor. And, you know, the suppressor isn't going to do the job. So if I had to pick a fastest time to kill gun that's realistically usable, I'd go with the barrel. If you want to go with something like a Vector or an Uzi, you're going to be about 10% behind the barrel and about, wow, 0.27 versus 0.222, like 30% behind the Grocer. The Grozers kick ass. But of course, the Uzi and the such, the Uzi has next to no, absolutely no bloody recoil, but it does have that tremendous fade because it is a 9mm round. As you go over distance, the Uzi just becomes next to useless. And this is one of the things that I find very, very interesting with PUBG Mobile. It's why there's metas for the maps. I just did a video for PUBG Mobile about the different weapons meta that you get, say, on Vikendi versus Sanhok. And it's like, let's look at the DP28, like my man Mortal and the rest of the world now, and myself included, who run the 28, because of the sublime performance with regard to recoil at 100 meters on a 7.62 round. It's super slow. It's like 30% more than the bloody, like, Grocer. But you try firing a Grocer at 100 meters with a 4x scope on it in full auto, and tell me how you go with that. Because it's not going to be a whole lot of fun. And that's the key. That's the key. There's different weapons for a reason. They all do things very, very well in their own sphere of influence. For me, I find guns like the Uzi and the Vector just too limiting. If I want to run a Vector or I want to run an Uzi, then what am I going to run in my second slot? Because anything outside of 30 meters is going to be just absolute crap. So I will run a barrel M762 all day long. I love the barrel. It's one of my absolute favorite guns, and I feel quietly confident that I can reach out to 30 to 40 meters with that thing, and everything else I can deal with either a sniper rifle like this or a QBU or something along those lines. But it makes for an interesting conversation. Anyway, I'm Bushka. Love your work, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Please share these videos. It helps me a lot. If you want to become a part of the Patreon crowd, it's patreon.com/thebushka. We'll be doing a lot of streams over the next wee while. I'm back. I'm boiling and I'm ready to bust out. Look after yourselves and stay safe on the battlefield.